What's going on, everybody? You already know it's the Dually King, and I'm back with another video. You see this truck behind me? Yeah, today we finna get ready and freak this thing out. You know what I mean? Put that DK touch on it. You already know what that's about. So anyway, one of my subscribers said, hey, look, man, I want to bring my truck to you. I got to go ahead and get blessed. I said, bruh, I got you. So let's go ahead and take a look at his truck. Let me know what you think. Anyway, this is a 2011 Ford F450. You already know we got to go ahead and he's going to be doing hot shots. You know what I'm saying? So I got to go ahead and make sure that he's right for when he's running down the highway, looking good as well as performing good. So we got to do a few little upgrades on it. Leveling kit, put the overload bags in it for when he's hauling heavy, and a good tire along with some of these wheels. So anyway, so this is the truck right here. Like I said, it's a 2011 F450 crew cab. He's already got the fifth wheel and the tank in the bed of the truck. He ready. He ready. Yep, super clean truck. But she's bone stock for right now. But you already know we're getting ready to freak this thing on out, so just stay tuned. All right, so what we're using the Airlift 57396. That's going to be the part right here that we're going to be installing today. This is a bag that we went ahead and got installed already. You can see that this is a makeshift table, but it works. So you can see it looks like a lot of stuff, but actually it's really not. So just to kind of give you a quick rundown, I mean, you can look at the instructions, whatever's going to help you out, but this is going to go on top of here. Make sure you line your holes up, and then your next bracket is going to be followed by this one right here on this particular kit. So we got a bunch of bolts and stuff like that right here, so it's going to be kind of like a series of stuff. So we're going to be using that one, this one, and this one. Ty, can you go ahead and put these bolts through here for me?
Yes, sir.
So you got to put those in before we actually go ahead on and install what we need to install today. So you just got to be careful. Obviously, little dumb stuff like that happens where the bolt falls out, whatnot, but it's typical. So what we're going to do anyway, while he's lining that up, we're going to take this right here with the bolts provided. These are fine thread. We're going to take that bolt, put a lock washer on it, and then a regular washer. So then to line that up, you're going to see that this hole right here and this hole right here is lined up. We're going to put them down in here, boom, and get those tight. So once we actually got both of those tightened in there, then we're going to go ahead and move and put our fitting on. And then once we got that fitting on there tight, then once this is up on the truck, then this right here is going to drop over that, just like that. That bolt wasn't supposed to fall out, but it's okay. Everything isn't tightened down like it's supposed to.
Too, that we don't have to put that on
right
before we put the plate on, so we don't have to worry about putting it in and letting it fall out again.
Exactly. And then while he's tightening that up, and then this is going to be the end result where that bracket actually goes on top of that, and then it bolts to the side of the frame. So let's go ahead on and we're going to go ahead and finish getting this thing pre-assembled so that we can actually start getting underneath the truck. But we like to work smarter, not harder, and that way we can, you know, less work underneath the truck. So let's go ahead and get this tightened up, and then we'll turn this back on. All right, now Ty done went ahead on and got everything underneath here tight. So now we're gonna go ahead and jump on up to this top. As you can see, we got another one of these plates right here. We're gonna put that plate on. We're actually gonna go ahead and make sure that the bolt hose is actually lined up. And then we're gonna actually take this bracket.
We run our other bolts in first too, before we bolt that on.
That's right. This right here gets a little bit weird. When you line this up right here, it's only gonna line up in two holes. That's gonna be your first one. And then it's gonna kind of go at an angle. What you need to make sure is when those two holes is lined up from here and here, to make sure that it's lined up from here straight down to how it's actually going to bolt up to your frame right there. So that'll kind of give you a pretty clear indication that you're going in the right direction. So just like Ty said, we need to actually go ahead and get our bolt started from the bottom on up through here, because they're actually going to get blocked off once we actually tighten these down, and you won't be able to get them in here. So let's go ahead on and jump to that real quick. So now that we got that bolt in there, this is kind of tricky. It's a lot going on here at once, but it all works together in unison. So we'll go ahead and get these bolts started. I kind of need both hands so that I can continue to help them out. And then I'll go ahead and show you what this looks like after we kind of get this stuff in here. All right, so we went ahead and got these bolts right here tightened up. This was an Allen head. And as you can see, that we went ahead and put this on there because it's actually wedged in there. You ain't gonna get it past that. So that's why we had to go ahead and put that bolt on in there first. So now we got to actually put this on here. This is actually the rest that actually rests on top of your bump stop block, is what your bag actually sits on. So if you look down in here, obviously there's a square for a carriage bolt. Drop that carriage bolt down in there, and Ty's gonna grab that washer and that nut sitting right there. That's gonna go into this slot right here. You go into this slot, you make sure that you don't tighten it down all the way, because you got to be able to keep that adjustable so you can adjust that bag just how you need it. So we'll go ahead on and get that snugged on up, and then we'll go ahead and jump up underneath the truck. So just stay tuned. All right, so what we're going to be using here today is this Airlift wireless easy mount compressor. Today we're going to be using that 259-80EZ. As you can see in the picture right there, it's got the controller. So we done already installed this on one of the other trucks, so you probably remember all of that from that, but we're going to actually show you how to do it again on this one. So once you end up opening up the box, obviously you got your instructions, but we don't need those. So when you open this up, obviously you got your air hose, you got your wire harness, got more air hose, you got some zip ties, fuse, couple bolts, the bracket to actually bolt it to the frame, and then of course you got the actual compressor right here. So I'm going to go ahead on and get that put in here. I don't need the directions. I've already installed it before, so it's actually fairly easy. Probably one of the easiest setups that I've ever had to do. So, but yeah, let me go ahead on and get this installed. Ty's already back there tightening up these airbags and stuff. So I'm ready to go ahead and knock this truck on out so we can go ahead and slap these wheels on there. So just stay tuned. All right, so we finally got this bag on in place. This is the passenger side. As you can see, sorry about my light, but you can actually see that up in there. There's a U-bolt or C-bolt, whatever you want to call it, holding that bracket in place. Then as you can see, there's a clamp up under the axle hooked up to that bolt going up to our bracket. So that's what she looks like right there. So as you can see, there's a bracket down here that actually holds it to the axle. Goes up to your bracket to actually hold your bag. And then you got your bag up here. So like I said, it's kind of a complicated setup, but it works. So I got my buddy Ty up over here getting ready to run these air lines, and then we'll go ahead and jump to the other side. I'm getting ready to mount this air compressor, so let's jump on over to that.
Let's do it.
All right, so I finally went ahead and got this compressor in there, mounted to the side of the frame. That was actually fairly straightforward. So I actually got to do some zip tying of some lines, and obviously get hooked up with my wire harness and plug that actually goes into here. And then I can actually go ahead and start hooking it to the battery and stuff. So let's go ahead and get this wire harness hooked on up, and then I'll go ahead and cut this back on. All right, so we done got to the point that we're getting ready to go ahead and start mounting these wheels up. So when you do this, and you open up the box of adapters, which would be pretty much just like, well, I got my gloves on it, but anyway, when you open it up, you will have the adapter right here. I also provide a red tube of Loctite so that you can put on your dually truck threads. Do not put them on the adapter threads, put them on the truck threads itself. I also go ahead and provide you with the lug nuts as well. So let me go ahead on and get this started, because on these Fords with the 8-on-200 bolt pattern, there is a certain way you got to have these, otherwise you're going to run into interference. So let me go ahead and get one of these started so that I can show you exactly what I'm talking about. Alright, so on this adapter right here, on this particular one, if you look, you see how this flat spot right here is level with this and this? That's so that when you put your rim on, it doesn't catch on these points of the edge of the lug nut. So if that point was sticking up, it would actually scar the inside of the wheel, and you would have a hard time trying to get it on. So like I said, only on an 8-on-200 millimeters for the Fords, and the Dodges, the new Dodges, like the 2020s and stuff like that. But like I said, as far as on these right here, just make sure that that's flat when you put that on, and like I said, you know, then you'll be good. Torque them down to regular sport torque specifications, and then you'll be all to the good. You might have to end up going a little bit over torquing just to make sure that this is flat, but that's totally all right. But other than that, let me go ahead and put these wheels on, and then we'll go ahead on and move to the next part. Okay, so I want to address something. This particular issue, I actually get asked about it at least 3 times a week, and that's totally fine. But a lot of people say, hey, well, why don't your designs match up on your wheels? They do. You just got to put the wheels on right. So a lot of that stuff is actually common error, which is totally fine, because if you don't know, then you know you don't know. But I'm actually getting ready to show you. All of the wheels that I cut, they go in a jig, stuff like that. So everyone comes out the same, meaning that, you know, everything is meant to line up, and that's totally fine. So what I'm getting ready to show you is this. All right, now you look at this wheel, it's spokes. I think it's like 32 around here. You got 10 lug holes. So therefore, your design is not totally symmetrical with this. So like as an example, if this is 10 lugs and I only had 10 holes or maybe 20, then every way that I clock that is going to be the same. Everything's going to line up every rip. But on this particular wheel, this, you know, it's got like 30 something spokes around it. So what I got what I call the 12 o'clock point. So right here, this is where this hole lines up perfectly with this design. You go at it at the same thing at 6 o'clock. This hole lines up perfectly with this part of the design here. Now you rotate your hand over, let's just say to here. You know what I mean? This no longer matches up with this. You know, you look over here, this doesn't match perfectly up with this, and so on and so forth. So with that being said, when you just twist this whatever way that you decide to twist it and it goes on, your design doesn't always line up. So what I'm saying is, when you put your wheel on, that's fine. However you put your inner wheel on, just make sure that if you want your design to line up, look at your 12 o'clock point, and then make sure you line it up with the outer wheel so that all of this stuff looks the way that it's supposed to. So It's honestly a common mistake, and it's very easy, but I figured I'd go ahead on and explain that, you know what I mean, and just make life a whole lot easier. So I hope that helped y'all a lot out. But let me go ahead and finish getting these wheels on, and you can see what it looks like. Okay, so we wanted to go ahead and get started and do this front, and we could not get the front wheels off. I mean, we took, you know, sledgehammers and blocks of wood and stuff like that. We just flat out couldn't get it. I don't like doing it this way, but I think it's the only way it's going to have to be done. So let's go ahead and see what we got to do. We're going to actually put a strap around it, hook it to a truck, and actually yank it off that way. So just make sure you're doing it safe, and then I'll go ahead and show you how we're doing it. So you see you got Ty right here. Got him hooked up to the big 4-wheel drive. So make sure you put them lug nuts on there to keep the wheel from flying completely all the way off. As you can see, we got about a 3/8 inch gap, and that way it'll stop it for once it actually breaks loose. Just put it through 2, Ty. So notice we use a strap, not a chain. A chain that actually damaged that wheel. So we use something soft. Go ahead and hook it up to the back of the truck. Let them go ahead and get a good tug on it. Now you can see that the wheel didn't actually fly all the way off or nothing, but sometimes it takes stupid stuff like that to go ahead and get these wheels on off. Unfortunately, that's how we had to go ahead on and do it, but as you can see, we got the wheel on off. Now we can go ahead and jump onto the suspension so we can go ahead and get this truck wrapped on up. This shit ain't no match for us. Come on now. Dually King in this piece. All right, so we had to go ahead and get us a new spring compressor. I like this style right here. It works pretty good. It's got the safety pins in it, so we went ahead and used that. That's what we're going to be using today. For this kit right here, it's got a track bar relocator in it. Obviously, you see you already got your lift cups, which is a 2.5 inch for the level. Got an isolator, a brake line bracket, sway bar spacer, and shock extenders. So that's pretty much everything. So we got all of our parts in here, so that's pretty much what our kit's going to be consist of today. So let's go ahead and dig into this front end. All right, so we done went ahead and got to this point. We actually got the lift on in there as far as the leveling kit, and as you can see down there, we got our shock extender in there. Ty is going ahead and wrapping on up that sway bar right there, and we had to end up moving our brake hose down. So the bracket was actually supplied in there, so we went ahead and did that. So now we're just going ahead and getting everything wrapped on up, but a lot of this took 2 hands for both of us, so couldn't really do a whole lot of recording, but we got what we could. So let's go ahead and finish on up this side so we can go ahead and get these wheels on. So y'all remember earlier where I was having that issue with getting the wheel off? As you look down in here, there's so much corrosion and everything built up around that wheel. Actually right here where the screwdriver is sitting, you can see where I actually took it in a hammer and kind of chiseled all of that stuff out of there so that when I put that adapter on, it sits flat. But all of this right here is going to have to get cleaned all the way around. So that's a very important thing right there, just so that the wheel's not wobbling and everything you know, out of place or anything of that nature. So make sure you clean that. Wire wheel, screwdriver, hammer, whatever, just make sure you get it clean. Look at this bad boy right here. Man, we done went ahead and got all the suspension work done. Tomorrow morning it's going to the alignment shop, so that way, you know, it's driving 100% crispy. I've already test drove it and she's already good to go, but I still got to put the center caps and lug nut covers on. But I didn't want to put those on because when they do the alignment, they got these little laser things that goes to the side of the wheel, so wasn't no point in putting them right on right now because they're gonna have to end up taking it off. But anyway, that's the only thing that I got left to do to this truck. But go ahead and let's check it out. I'm also gonna get another video of it, you know what I mean, after it's completely 100% all done. But let's go ahead on and check this out, how we freak this thing out. So look at that. You can't tell me that ain't nasty. So like I said, leveling kit up front, track bar relocated, sway bar relocated. Man, then it's got the 100 spoke wheels on it. Closest thing you gonna get to chrome, I tell you that. Yeah, he definitely ready. He already got the hitch in the back, so he definitely ready. Like I said, 2011 F450 on 24s, on 325, 45, 24 Pirelli ATR tires. Balanced up super nice, everything. So yeah, so that's what it is. But hey, like I said, let me go ahead and wrap this truck on up because I'm ready for this video to be finished, and then y'all can go ahead and see that finished product. But before you leave this video, make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Well, you see it in the background, the truck is finally done. Finally done. So we went ahead on and knocked out everything that we needed to get done on it. The customer's on his way up here to go ahead and grab the truck, so we finna go ahead on and make sure that she's already ready. I already went to the car wash, went ahead and sprayed it down because it has some salt and stuff on it, but I at least wanted to at least return it to him clean. So let's go ahead and do a walk around on this truck, and then, you know, go ahead and let me know what you think. Yeah, that's the finished product right there. You see it, 24s on Pirelli 325, 45, 24 ATR tires. Real nice tire, ride real good going down the highway. You see the wheels bling blinging. Those right there is our 100 spokes is what those are called. It's the 100 spokes with our billet caps. And the caps is custom engraved with the guy's his business logo, so which is Cornell Trucking. So I can pretty much do whatever logo that you want, everything. But yeah, that's pretty much how that set actually ended up turning out. I think the truck looks beautiful. He just got to go through and give it one more good wipe down. I ain't no detailed person, you know what I'm saying, when it come to wiping cars down, but I don't care about that. I at least wanted to go ahead and return the truck at least back in the same shape that I got it. I've already took it down the interstate, drove it, ride like a Cadillac, no shaking, no none of that stuff. So he can do 80 miles an hour all the way home if he want to, and you ain't got to worry about none of that shaking and all of that stuff. So you know how we get down, it's either right, you know what I mean, or we don't do it at all. So other than that, I just pretty much wanted to go ahead and show y'all on that truck. I hope y'all like it, and I hope that if y'all happen to do any of that same stuff to y'all truck, I hope this video helps y'all out. But other than that, I think I'm gonna go ahead and end this video. So before you leave, do me a favor, make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you never miss another video. On to the next truck. Peace.